I'm not pro-life, I'm pro-living. So my stand is, how do we support those that we are here and those that we choose to bring here? And so it's not just the money. Although, however, it takes $240,000 in hard costs to raise a kid.
Yeah.
And it takes $100,000 if you were going to farm out the, like if you were going to hire out all the tasks that it takes to raise a kid. It takes about $100,000 per year to do the task. So it's about $2 million over the course of a child's life. That's not with college. That's just a simple middle-class existence to raise a child. So if it's $2 million, and that doesn't go away, that doesn't change because we want it to. So when you look at the Jewish community, like you were talking yesterday about group economics, and one of the things that Jews do is that they rally around their children. They, they support them. They're very clannish.
You're going to be a doctor.
Bar mitzvahs. There's a whole process and a culture that's around the raising of adults, and we're missing that. We're missing that. We're missing that the building of community for people to arrive in that makes us sane and whole.
Wow.
So I'm pro-living. I think that women need to have the and people need to have the choices. Need to have reproductive choices to make some sometimes very tough decisions. But the community needs to be in a different posture about the people that we bring to the earth.
Wow. Well, let's do it this way. If you have pro-choice, and that means, in my opinion, and somebody could help me, and we have callers on the line too, pro-choice to me means pro-situation, pro-circumstance, right? Pro-life means life, period. If I'm pregnant, the zygote is a living being, an entity, a spirit, the whole get down. I'm not doing it, right? Because this is a living being. I would be a murderer if I did it, right? What I find is, in America, pro-situation dominates. And a lot of people will try to hide behind pro-choice, but really it's pro-situation, pro-advantage. Remember this, most people are very, very self-centered, egotistical people, and everything has to fit a personal agenda. They're not doing shit out of unconditional love. First off, unconditional love is as rare as niggas winning the goddamn Powerball every 2 weeks. That ain't gonna happen. So, everything boils down to my living agenda. Most of us are manipulators and liars, men and women. So, if the situation is advantageous for us to have a child, then we'll have a child. If it's not advantageous, we won't. I don't believe in pro-choice. I believe in pro-situation. Callers! You're on the line and Whitney disagrees.
Hold up. Well, I don't really disagree. I'm saying I've never heard of pro-situation, but I kind of agree to that. I'm not saying I'm going to have a baby. I'm pro-choice because if I have a baby with a person, he's got money, so I'm going to have a baby with him. That's not why I'm pro-choice. Me, myself, if I can support a child by myself, because he could peace out, he could be like, I don't want
That sounds deliciously beautiful, but it's not the truth.
That's my
You're
truth.
not the only woman who.
I get
listen,
that.
But that's my truth.
You're not the only woman who espouses that idea.
No,
but then
not.
what happens is when you get into the reality of raising a kid,
I know exactly.
you start counting pennies.
It's a commitment.
You'll start
commitment.
in some spiritual, and if I can't do it, but what happens if you financially trip and stumble, and then ramen noodles is dinner tonight?
That's what we're doing. We're chopping up some hot dogs and throwing them in there. That's
when
what
you
have
live
to
in
do.
that life, then it's a different vibe. It's pro-situation. Caller! Somebody save me!
I'm not saying well, I'm
Somebody said, with ribs on the side.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
That's it. Like, I mean, there is situations.
Yes, brother. Who are you and where you calling from?
This is Sherman Oliver from Chicago. Hello, Whitney.
What's
One of my
good?
friends on Facebook.
Yeah, Sherman. What's good?
I got a chance to meet you, Zoe, when you came to Chicago. Had a great time, man. You
Chicago was
are
on
awesome,
fire,
brother.
wasn't it, brother? That was a hot little scene we had cracking over there in the town.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Right out there,
man.
47th Street. Yep.
Yeah, man, that was an awesome place, man. I need to come back there, man, and do another relationship roundtable. It was great.
And before I forget, when we finish our conversation, put me back on hold, brother, because I can't get you on my phone, and I'm loving this conversation.
I respect that. Thank you, brother. Make sure he stays on hold. Now, tell me your point about today's show.
Well, when I was coming up, first of all, I have to admit, I listened to, Corey's show, too. And wasn't it Corey that mentioned that the womb is like the most dangerous place for a black child?
Ooh,
You remember that?
Remember
that conversation?
I remember that conversation. I was there. Go deeper.
more black kids have been killed in the wombs, in a woman's womb than anywhere else.
You know why that's true? Let me speak to this for a second. This is why I'm saying, man, you cannot turn to a poisonous society for solutions. First off, family building requires a positive and negative charge like a battery. The positive charge is the male. The negative charge is the female. You put them together, you get life, right?
Right.
Now, peep game on this. So many social game rules that we are not in control of, right, are what we refer to as the truth in our lives. Let me give you this real quick. Most African Americans are Democratic. How does this relate to abortion and pro-choice? Well, it does. You got the Republican right wing who are very conservative. And as Veronica and I talked about before, they're conservative about raising white numbers. So they're anti-abortion and pro-life. Right?
Right.
Niggas! You're going to be niggas until you change into something else. Right? Niggas are Democratic, who are liberal and pro-choice. Guess who get more abortions than anybody in America? Niggas!
White people. Are you sure about that?
I know.
Niggas.
Show me.
There is a report out. New York City did the report. The Democrats did the report. 53% of all abortions in New York City, African American.
Wow. I don't know, man. I kind of think they're not counting all the white people that's doing
I'm just saying, the fucking social game rules that we have, they weren't created by us. They weren't put together by us. So if they're put together by somebody else, are they put together in our benefit? Are they trying to mitigate our numbers? Are they trying to limit our numbers? Because in numbers, there's power, there's economic power, there's political power, and if we can keep your numbers low, while other numbers are on the rise, namely the Latinos, and the Latinos are gaining in political power because of their numbers, right? Who's the new majority minority in America?
Hispanics.
I'm just saying. And who are they starting to lean toward when it comes to politics?
Hispanics.
No. I'm talking about the Hispanics taste bud in terms of Democrat, Republican.
Oh, Democrat, yeah.
Jury's still out. Callers! Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Put him on hold because he doesn't want to be cut off. We got one more caller, then we'll go to break. Caller?
Hello?
What's happening?
Hey, what's up, Zoe?
Where you calling from, man? Talk to me.
This is Jermaine Johnson. I'm calling from Aurora, Colorado.
Appreciate you, man. Let's go.
I was the skeptic who bought Veronica Conway's Black Mastery.
Oh, you the skeptic.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
I bought it because, I saw that you could get your money back just in case the investment wasn't. That's how skeptical I was about the product. Yeah. I went through about 2, maybe 3 sessions in, and right away I felt a transformation. Like I was always stuck in the past. I was kind of like a pessimistic person. My wife was kind of like, always asking like, "Hey, are you here?" I was never in the present moment. And just by her kind of allowing me to get a different understanding about, what happened in my past and, the things, how I interpret things as a child and coming up to an adult, I'll tell you what, it has me in the present moment now, and this thing really works.
Wow.
I'm not Zoe Williams. I'm not this host who's trying to push the product, or I'm not Veronica Conway. Peace to her.
I don't get the piece.
Really does work.
I don't get the piece. Just gonna shit on me on my own show, huh? You think I'm just gonna sit here and let you do that shit? I don't care who you are, nigga. Brand new nigga now, huh? I'm just kidding.
Another thing. No,
I'm just playing.
Your
brother.
shows, man. Peace to Whitney and Margot and Brandy. I love y'all show. I love the Zoe Williams show. I can't do without those things. And I just want to tell your audience, man, this stuff really does work. Me and my wife are doing it together, and we, I feel like on my half that we're communicating better, and you're not promoting it enough. That's what I'm gonna tell you.
Wow. Hey, man, I appreciate that. I know Veronica appreciates that, but seriously, if I can bring something to the community that could change your life in that way, man, thank you so much, man.
Hey,
I appreciate
one more thing. Can I add in a comment on what's on your show right now? What's going on?
Absolutely.
I believe, I noticed like whatever the white community wherever their stance is on pro-life or pro-choice, I kind of see the people in the black community kind of regurgitate whatever their mindset is. I really believe that we should think like our ancestors was thought like. They thought holistically. What I'm saying is like we either think one extreme or the other. If you're pro-life, then you're against pro-choice. If you're pro-choice, you're against pro-life. I think this. I believe that we should be both because poor people shouldn't
have babies.
Have babies.
Isn't that kind of that's like
the niggas tearing up shit in the hood?
Ooh,
single parent homes tearing up shit.
Wow.
It's the people who can afford them and have their fathers in their lives, because the black fathers were taken out of the black community, and that's where everything start getting tore up. Our communities start getting tore up. So that's what I wanted to add in. Peace to you guys.
Wow.
God bless.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate the call. And again, he brings up an excellent point. If you're poor and you have a child, are you then, in a way, abusing the child that you're bringing into this life? Or could it be LeBron James? And he says, I'm glad I didn't have a daddy and I grew up fucked up and this is what made me tough.
Having two parents doesn't give you a better upbringing.
What?
It doesn't necessarily.
Oh,
it doesn't necessarily.
okay.
It doesn't promise you or guarantee that you're going to grow up whole. There are people who have one parent who did grow up poor, who have better values than most people walking around with more than $1,500 in their pocket. So definitely there are people out there who just money doesn't make you better. And money doesn't necessarily make a situation better, but it can. It can afford you certain things. Education is the thing that's very important. So they stopped sex education in this country years ago, and lack of realistic sex education, instead of saying, oh, just abstain and all, that's some bullshit. And it doesn't help anybody.
So callers,
yes.
This is what we're going to do. We still have callers. We got to take a quick break. Watch this video as we go in the break. It's about to be crazy, but take a look at this and tell me if there's a conspiracy going on. We'll be back.
In 1939, Margaret Sanger, co-founder of Planned Parenthood, started the Negro Project with the aim of slowing and then reversing the growth of the black population. A staunch advocate of eugenics, the so-called science of purifying the human gene pool, Sanger viewed certain races, especially blacks, as genetically inferior and inclined towards producing human weeds. Reckless breeders spawning human beings who never should have been born. Sanger's strategy, still followed by Planned Parenthood today, involved recruiting so-called progressive black leaders who were persuaded that slowing back birth rates was a key to their people's future success and prosperity. A profoundly disproportionate number of abortion clinics were placed near the inner cities. And since then, an equally disproportionate number of our African American population, more than 15 million, has been weeded out by abortion.
On this fundamental issue, I will not yield, and Planned Parenthood will not yield. because we know that what's at stake is more than whether or not a woman can choose an abortion. Choice is about how we lead our lives.
As the most pro-abortion candidate in American history, Barack Obama will make sure this weeding continues. Say no to abortion. Say no to black genocide in the Negro Project. Say no to Barack Obama.
So, again, I bring up this point. See, everything about our society as it pertains to black people is about fitting into a template someone has designed for you. Veronica speaks about the domesticated versus the wild. First off, you've been taught that wild is bad, right? And domesticated is good. We are the most neutered, censored human beings on planet Earth. We have to fit into we don't even interface with who the real person is. We interface stereotypically. Now that we married, that means that pussy on deck whenever I wants. According to the Bible,
Right.
unask that ass when I get in this evening. There better be some cornbread, some fatback, some beans, and some pussy on deck. Right?
That's right.
We interface stereotypically. And then the reverse is, the toilet broke, nigga. Fix up that toilet. The car broke. Fix up that car. Right?
Mm-hmm.
The gutters outside need cleaning. Everything is interfacing through a stereotype. We've never met the person we've ever been with. We have expectations that are created by other people. First off, monogamy and all that bullshit. We did all of these shows. It's not even 150 years old. So we don't get to live who we are in the wild. Everything is a process of domestication.